God's Girl is back in the building. God's Girl in the building. Thank you so much for joining me in the soft launch for hashtag askGodzGrl. Hashtag askGodzGrl. askGodzGrl. And I am indeed she. And this is unscripted because that's what I'm used to. Although we're doing YouTube, we started out on Facebook Live and Periscope doing what we call Live at 5. Yes, we were airing every day, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just sharing nuggets from the Word of God, from my personal faith walk journey as a servant of God, a woman of God, a prophet of God, an entrepreneur, a worship leader, a life coach, spiritual advisor, just so many different beautiful things God has set to my hands, and just trying to balance it all out, and stay in the spirit to hear him on how to accomplish that. And Live at 5 was very successful. I am so appreciative for God allowing me that time, and possibly even praying that he will allow me back to that, because the live aspect is phenomenal, because being able to get that feedback from you all, that immediate feedback, oh my God, was life-changing. And I just appreciated everybody that shared and just shared with me in the moment, and even after the fact, how God was blessing you in the midst of it, because it was a tremendous blessing to me. But unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts, I was unable to continue being consistent with Live at 5. But I had still been kind of like bubbling over with messages and thoughts and nuggets. I'm like, God, what do we do? So in the midst of Live at 5, God had me start another movement, Ask God's Girl, on Instagram. And you just never know why he's telling you to do something. It's almost like the whole Karate Kid effect, wax on, wax off. At that time, he didn't know that was turning him into a champion Karate Kid. But in fact, it was, along with the other practical lessons that his sensei was teaching him, and just the instructions that he was giving. He had no idea what it was building him up to and for. And that's kind of scenario that I'm experiencing now. I did not know that what God had me doing with just simple messages posting on Instagram was going to turn into an entirely different platform, similar but different. And I just appreciate him for speaking to me. I appreciate even he had to give me a spirit of obedience. Sometimes, not all the time. And even just giving me the wisdom to work the technology, because I guarantee you know this. God's Girl is not the technological expert by no stretch. And that's why even our presentation is going to be what we call raw but relevant. Thank you. So we're going to be raw but relevant. And I don't know, moving forward, I don't know how God will have us to build and expand even how we present Ask God's Girl and anything else that he has me to do. But the most important thing is the message, the time, the love that he allows me to share with each broadcast, whether it's live, YouTube, Instagram, the blog, wherever he calls me to download the information. It's about the message more important than anything. And when he sees fit to expand the presentation, we'll move with that. But right now we're doing what we call using what we have, not despising the small beginning, and just enjoying the journey. I appreciate God so much for giving me an ear to hear, a mouth to speak, a mind to process, and the ability to share with you all the beautiful things that he shared with me. So again, welcome. Thank you for joining me with the soft launch of Ask God's Girl. Nobody really knew it was coming. I didn't know it was coming. It's just like, dude. So, but I thank God that I'm already even prepared with a lot of good nuggets that are already downloaded on Instagram, and we may even revisit. But any of you that was following me with Live at 5, we may revisit some of those topics. But again, if there's anything that you want to visit, you want to touch on, please let me know. All of my information is going to be listed here. Of course, if you respond under the YouTube video, it'll automatically come to my email, which is askGodzGrl@gmail.com, askGodzGrl@gmail.com. So any feedback, you can send it directly to the email if you want it to be private and confidential. Right now, there is no staff. It's just me. I am the only one checking that information, and I guarantee you anything that you share with me is confidential. It's between me, you, and God. And you can even, send things anonymous. But if you don't mind it being a part of the open forum and the general public can see and maybe even respond and have some input as well, because I'm not the all-knower. You can just post it under the YouTube video and we can dialogue there. So I just appreciate you again for your time. And again, the foundation of most of what we talk about will begin on the Ask God's Girl IG. Please follow me there at askGodzGrl. askGodzGrl. And also on Twitter. Same handle. We're going to be pretty consistent with that. And I'm going to also share, if anyone is led to sow into what God is doing with us on Ask God's Girl, we will have the PayPal and my P.O. Box information listed under the video. Just do what the Lord tells you to do. Do what your heart is led to do. But either way, I am going to do what God has unctioned me to do and am excited to do so. And it's an honor and a privilege that God would use me, choose me, select me to do anything for Him, represent Him, by Him, through Him, to Him. So I enjoy being obedient to God. Not always initially like, because if you are anything like me, you know that 99% of the instructions that He gives are like, huh? What? And that's just me. Maybe because I'm a little slow. I am what you call guilty, oftentimes guilty of a delayed reaction, but I do eventually get it, and that's what matters. So I love you. I love you. I do this because I love God, and I love you. And, my umbrella company is GodzGrlEntertainment. Everything we do functions under that. And the platform is love God, hear God, obey God. It's just that simple. And that's just what it is. And as God's Girl, the thoughts that we're going to be putting out there are just things that come to my spirit based on experiences. And I'm going to be giving a lot of testimony. Please forgive me if it seems like it's all about me, but I don't know your testimony. So I can only tell my testimony. But if you feel like you have something to add to Ask God's Girl, send me a message, because maybe we can set up some interviews. I would love to have you. I would love to have you share your experiences, because, there's nothing new under the sun. And I know that a lot of these things I'm experiencing, others have. Many just may not talk about it, or maybe do not know how to approach it, or maybe fear. Because a lot of what I deal with kind of goes, I wouldn't say go against all the time, but it will ruffle the average church person's feathers in most cases. That was good, Paula, how you said that. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. All right. That was God's Girl talking to Paula. She being me, us. We talk to ourselves all the time. But, because God has molded me definitely in a non-traditional manner. And I was raised very traditional, religious, and that's fine too, because I did get the fundamentals of who God is, but I didn't really I got the textbook definition, but I didn't really get the application and still getting it to the day that I die, I'm sure, the full application of who God really is and how he desires us to function in this earth realm. So, you know, a lot of times the content is definitely going to bump up against, you know, the typical mind of the average churchgoer. But that's fine, because I don't go to church. I choose to be the church. I am the church. So I like to think that my life is a representation of what the church should look like. And, you know, not to say that I am perfect. I am not suggesting that by any means, but it is to say that I am with my whole heart aspiring and walking out the will of God and the word of God the way that I feel he has given it to me. It might not be for you, but what I do is for me and for the people that he's called me to. So this is going to be kind of also like a prophet's diary. And that was something that just came to me just before I began to create this video. It's going to be a little bit of a prophet's diary, because like I was saying, a lot of the topics that I'm going to discuss, and it's going to be coupled with testimonies, you know, what I've literally experienced based off of other prophets that I know, people that walk prophetically. They have very similar experiences, extremely similar, but may not yet know how to articulate it. And so the things that I have figured out that God has graced me to articulate, we will articulate that here, and hopefully it will give you an opportunity to get some clarity. If this is you, you might see yourself in some of these scenarios, or you might see someone you love and be able to communicate it to them. And it's also going to be helping me increase in my understanding of the journey that God has me on. No, I don't always like it. No, I don't always understand it. No to a whole bunch of stuff. However, I appreciate it, because on the other side of it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, the in-between, I'm always privileged to see God's love, his grace, his infinite wisdom, his mercy, and the list goes on and on. I'm always graced to see that in action. And to me, that is the most important thing. And the most important thing is to be able to see God. One of my favorite songs, open the eyes of my heart, Lord, because I want to see you. I want to see you. All these other things that I can see with my eyes, the tangibles, that's easy. But to be able to see God and see his spirit move, you know, even as I watch it move through me and watch it move through you, you know, it's amazing to me. It blows my mind time and time again. So with all that rambling, I said all that to say, I'm excited. I am excited about what we are going to experience and what we're going to go through and grow through here on Ask God's Girl. So come back often. You just never know what might pop up, because I'm still going to be doing a lot of live videos as I go about my journey. I have some very exciting things on the horizon, so you just never know where God's Girl is going to show up. You know, I'm the next best thing. Where's Carmen Sandiego? Or where's Waldo? You know, I'm about to find me a striped scarf, perhaps. You know, my scarf is my signature. Whereas Waldo had his striped socks. Perhaps I'll get a striped scarf. As if I probably don't have one, because I have probably about a few, 500,000 dozen scarves. Thank you. Because people know that I love them. They bless them to me all the time. So if I took the plunge to jump in the pile, because you do have to swim through it, I probably would find a striped one in there. Probably, more than likely. I'm pretty positive. So anyway, so it's going to be a lot of exciting things going on here, and I'm just looking for God to expand it day by day. It's even reflect on what I experienced on Live at 5. And for anybody who was interested in seeing anything that we did on Live at 5, You can go to my Facebook page, Paula Michelle Lockett, or the handle for my Facebook page is also askGodzGrl. And even if we're not friends, I made those videos public. And also, if you're on Periscope, my Periscope is GodzGrlEnt. If that's not correct, I didn't know I was going to share that information right now, so I'm sorry I don't have it. If that's not correct, just look under the, my bio in the YouTube channel and also under the video. I'll list all that information there so you can just click on it. It'll be pretty easy for you to access. I can do that for you. I think I can, yes, and I believe I will. So definitely, God was really pouring out, some amazing stuff. Like, I had to go back and look at it myself. Like, God said that through these little dusty lips, man, dude, use anybody. You can use anything, Lord. You can use this piece of clay. So anyway, it was good. We had a great time. And I do believe we probably will revisit some of those things here because I do believe it's repeat worthy. Not because I said it, but because God said it. So before I go, again, welcome to the soft launch of the askGodzGrl YouTube movement. Some movements, because we're going to be going with the flow, not by power, not by might, but by the Spirit of God. We're going to move, honey. Huh? We're going to move. We're going to walk this faith thing out. And just to revisit a thought about this being a prophet's diary, because these quotes, these thoughts are definitely from my personal life. Trot. That's good. I like that. It's a trot. It is not a sprint. It is a slow, seemingly gruesome trot sometimes. But at the end, there is a beautiful destination because God knows the plans that He has for us, and they are amazing. So some of the destination I have experienced, because throughout the journey, there's different destinations. There's smaller destinations before we get even to the ultimate. There's pockets of success. There's pockets of, winning battles before we get a chance to win the war. So we see little increments of blessings and favor here and there before we get to the ultimate, thing that God really has us, aiming towards. And so, I'm just grateful for the many successes that I see in the midst of just aspiring for the ultimate success, which is, being all that God has for us to be. But in the process, it's a lot. There's a lot of different things, a lot of emotional, mental, financial, physical, so many challenges we will face. And 99% of it is a direct reflection of the walk, the call. And as we share, we will see how that lines up, how that works out. Trust me, it's a lot to say right now, but that is what we will be building on, because unfortunately, when we're talking about the body of Christ, or we're talking about the church, there's so many issues that they do not touch on. There's so much, come in, slap your neighbor, spin around 10 times, and leave an offering, but people leave unchanged. They danced and somersaulted and flip-flopped all over the church, but still leave with no real understanding of how to be changed for the better. And that's just because nobody talks about it. And maybe they just don't know. But if you don't know, don't just bring people to a set place every Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, whatever day you choose, and tickle their emotions and pull on their wallets, but they don't see any real change. Don't do that to people. Just stop it. Stop it. Don't use church, what we call the church, the four-wall paradigm, as an opportunity for you to have a big name and to control people. Stop it. Don't do it. Stop it. I did not intend to go there, but since we're there, that's where we are. And what I've experienced is with the prophetic call on my life, many have tried to control and manipulate and dominate. You know, they didn't really want the purity of what God could do through me, whether it was singing, preaching, whatever. They didn't really want the purity of what God could do through me. They just wanted to be able to control it and extract from it when they wanted to for their own benefit, not really for the benefit of the building of the body. But no, I came for the body, the whole body. You know, if one member is out, you know, we're many members in one body. If one part of your body is hurting, is jacked up, it can affect the entire body. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A toothache can set your whole life off track. If you stump your toe, you feel that thing go from straight to your brain in like 0 seconds. And you know what I'm talking about. So my goal is to impact the body, not just to be somebody's spiritual slave. So they can just be advanced and enhanced. No, I came to win souls and enhance the body. Edify the body. Wow. Where all that come from? But anyway, see, that's what happens. That's what happens on Ask God's Girl. The Holy Ghost will just take over and say what he wants to say, because I totally was not planning to say that. So, with that being said, we're going to be dealing with a lot of the mental and emotional and the experiences that we go through on this prophetic journey, and even with people just misunderstanding, and because they don't understand, they will oftentimes mistreat us. So many things. We'll cover a lot of that. So if there's anything you want to discuss, hey, hit the email. You know, let us know. Let us know. Let us know. And we can together grow on this journey and be at peace, regardless of where we are. You know, we can always experience the peace that surpasses all understanding and be authentically who God made us. So I just want to touch on this, and then I'm gone. And you can replay and share this 1,000,000 times if your heart so desires. And the very first, since this is the first upload for Ask God's Girl, we're going to touch on the very first IG upload, which was Love Isn't a Spoken Word. Love is a Mime. And again, this is on the Ask God's Girl Instagram page. And it says, love is a mime. Do love. Don't just talk about it. Be about it. And even with saying that, when you genuinely love someone and you want to help them, be a blessing to them in whatever capacity, it's always best to ask them, what can I do? And either you can or you can't. I'm not saying that you can. But don't just love them the way you define love, because everybody articulates love differently. Everybody has a different, a popular term, love language. But, you know, people say men and women have different love languages, but every individual has a different love language. You could be twins, identical, birthed out of your mother's womb on the very same day at the very same time, but still articulate love differently. Because even identical twins have unidentical fingerprints. Wow. I might have to touch back on that later. So I said all that to say, don't just talk about love. Do love. And if you really want to love somebody right, ask them, what is the best way that I can love you? What does love mean to you? What does it look like to you? Because I can definitely tell you in my journey what I thought love was. When I began to experience the love of God, he showed me that love is something totally different. Some people like to love with money. Some people like to love with sex. Some people like to love with actions, servitude. But what I found out when I really began to experience and receive the love of God, that he loves me the way I need to be loved. And then I can watch him love my neighbor, and they are equally pleased with the love of God. But what they're receiving from God is different from what I'm receiving. But we both share the joy of receiving his love, because he knows exactly who he doesn't have to ask what we need. What does love look like to us? Because he created us. So he knows how to just distribute the love, no question. But how we relate to each other, but because we are, not the divine, ultimate divine, we need to sometimes ask. Yes, sometimes God will have us discern. Give your brother this. Do this for your brother. Say that. Whatever it is that he needs us to do to show his love through us one to another. But definitely, sometimes we really have to just ask, what does me loving you look like? And this is in any relationship. This is in marriage. This is in family, friendship, whatever the relationship. Communicate to each other, to the person that you're trying to love, to the person that's trying to love you. Hey, this is what love looks like to me. What does love look like to you? And if you can't supply it, that's okay. It's okay. But just know that this is what love looks like to me, and this is my definition. And we have to be sensitive to that. We should be, because we are, representing God's love in this earth realm. We're representatives of his love. He loves oftentimes through us one to another. So that's it. I think that's it. Thank you again for spending some time with me. I didn't know it was going to be this long. I don't know. I guess I'm about a 30-minute girl, because this is we're 26 minutes in now, and on the Live at 5 I was going about 30 minutes. I don't know, but just going with the flow. Probably because this is the soft launch, and I was doing a lot of explanations and presentations and accolades and raccolades, whatever a raccolade is. Do not go look that up in the dictionary, because I do make up words. And that was one. But if raccolade is in there, then I'm a real prophet, and I just pulled it out the spirit, because I never heard of it. Thank you. But no, anyway, I am excited to see what God is going to do. Again, I'm going to put all of our contact information in the YouTube channel description, bio field, and also under the video. And I just encourage you to share, build, and grow with us. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be an exciting journey. So with that being said, I love you to life. I love you to life. Thank you. Thanks for listening, God's Girl.